Solana is like the main coin of this cycle. Will it outperform Sui? Unlikely. Could ETH outperform Solana? Maybe. But I don't think you go far wrong. Just be careful with that tail side of too much in AI and too much in stuff. When you know you've got kind of 30% in more speculative based stuff, I'd just be a little bit careful of that. I prefer to have, like 70, 80%, maybe more in just the core as opposed to going too far out the risk curve. Bitcoin dominance, generally when it falls, it is the start of the silly season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, obviously, by definition, it means that other tokens are outperforming Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's going up, which we're still going up, then what we should see is that. So I think, we've had a little correction in Bitcoin dominance. It went from 62 back to 63. It'll top out again and then move lower. And that next move, people will really start to see it. And I think that's the move when Bitcoin goes through all-time highs and everything else goes completely bananas. That drop went from 70-something% down to, 38% in a few months. That's alt season. We saw it here back in 2017, which I think is a very similar one. It started like in Feb 17. That went from 95 to 35.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Bitcoin dominance over time is falling. So the peaks are always less.
Lower highs.
The lows seem to be roughly equal, but it suggests to us that we should come somewhere back down here, and it happens fast. It happens in 2, 3, 4 months.
Raoul Pal, co-founder of Real Vision, sparked debate after sharing his thesis on the current market cycle. According to him, Ethereum is expected to outperform Bitcoin, while Solana could eclipse it, and Sui could even surpass it thanks to its adoptive curve. On August 25th, Paul presented his predictions for the entire market cycle. His overall thesis for the entire cycle is that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, Solana will outperform Ethereum, and Sui will outperform Solana due to their respective positions on the network's adoption curve. This thesis, which considers blockchain growth through an S-shaped model, implies that newer networks like Solana and Sui have greater room for growth relative to their size. This thesis was formulated in response to investor Chris Bernisk, who previously noted that Solana Ethereum and Solana Bitcoin pairs continue to perform well, adding that he expects this trend to strengthen given the recent negative sentiment over Solana. According to Raoul Pal, Solana should be the life-changing coin of this cycle. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's get back to Raoul Pal's view on Solana and the overall crypto market.
Tad said, the average billionaire has like 4 or 5 houses. Beyond that, you can't buy anything. So what happens is the value of the art in their houses is 10x the value of their house.
Yeah.
Because art is a store of value, it's exchangeable, it's transportable, it's actually a very, very good store of wealth. So I've just, by 10 years, some of these X copies will have traded at $200 million. All of our thesis is somehow this should connect to an ecosystem in a way that works. So whether Doodles can pull it off, whether you guys pull it off, I don't know, but somebody's going to get there. We just don't know the mechanism.
Paul also discussed the possibility of an altcoin season using what he termed a cryptocurrency waiting room. He stated that many altcoins are preparing for a parabolic surge led by Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. Paul claimed that Ethereum is already rising, indicating that the altcoin is ready for such a rally. He also shared a chart of Ethereum showing that the price has already broken through a long-term consolidation phase. The market expert also highlighted that XRP is one of the altcoins likely to experience a massive breakout, similar to Ethereum, stating that it is in the process of going up. Paul claimed that Solana will be the next to come out of the waiting room after Ethereum. Once that happens, he predicts that Sui, also on hold, will follow Solana with a parabolic rise. Meanwhile, the market expert claimed that Dogecoin will be fully boosted when other cryptocurrencies outside the top 10 are. Paul stated that cryptocurrencies outside the top 10 are still waiting, but their launch will take longer. He described their anticipated surge as the purest form of altcoin season. Paul expects total global liquidity to increase, with the US, EU, China, and Japan having to refinance their debts. He called it an absurdly bullish backdrop for Ethereum, XRP, and these other altcoins. He also pointed to cryptocurrency treasury firms and sovereign accumulation, as well as Wall Street, as bullish catalysts for the impending altcoin boom. However, the market expert noted that participants must learn to be patient, because even if the path is clear, they can never expect absolute perfection. He added what matters is the model. The cryptocurrency market is on the verge of a radical transformation. Ethereum's recent all-time high, ATH, of $4,889 in August 2025 not only redefined its role as a store of value, but also signaled a structural reallocation of capital from Bitcoin to altcoins. This shift, amplified by macro liquidity trends and technical patterns, positions 2026 as a pivotal year for altcoin investors. Ethereum's rise to $4,889 marks a critical inflection point. Paul's Total 3 metric, total cryptocurrency market capitalization excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, has emerged as a key indicator of altcoin liquidity. By August 2025, this indicator formed a bullish ascending triangle pattern that began in early 2021. This pattern, which has touched its trend line 6 times in 5 years, suggests that a bullish breakout could materialize by mid-2026. The interplay of macroeconomic factors and technical indicators creates a compelling argument for an altcoin season in 2026. Meanwhile, Ethereum's deflationary momentum, fueled by staking and blob burning, has reduced its circulating supply by 0.5% annually, fueling its price appreciation. Institutional adoption is another key factor. Ethereum-based ETFs have attracted $12.12 billion in assets, while corporate treasuries have allocated $1.6 billion to Ethereum. These developments, coupled with regulatory clarity, have bolstered confidence in altcoins. With macroeconomic liquidity expanding and institutional adoption intensifying, 2026 could witness the most transformative altcoin season in crypto history. Investors who act early, positioning themselves in high-conviction altcoins and monitoring key liquidity thresholds, could benefit from exponential gains. Paul claims that NFTs are the best long-term store of wealth. NFTs are the best long-term store of wealth. This claim, posted on social media, chimes with his broader thesis that monetary devaluation and exponential technological trends are driving a significant shift in asset ownership. We don't own enough cryptocurrency, and when we do own it, we don't own enough NFTs, because art is the source of wealth. Both will never be this cheap again. Influencer Lark Davis concurred with Paul, admitting to owning few NFTs and intending to change that in this cycle. Paul responded by suggesting, "Buy a punk to start," referring to CryptoPunks, one of the oldest and most recognizable Ethereum-based NFT collections.